is Keeping Up the Conversation, an unscripted podcast. And now, here's your hosts, Tori and Big Ken. Follow Keeping Up the Conversation on Facebook at KUTC Live.
Welcome to another episode of Keeping Up the Conversation. I'm your host, Miss Tori, joined by my co-host, Big Ken. What's
Hey, hey,
up?
hey.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
I know it's our first show after the new year. It's season 2 and I am just excited. Really, really excited. Went back and reviewed some of the shows from season 1 and it was just amazing.
Yeah, we were good and we got better and we're gonna get even better as time goes
Yeah.
on. It's an
Yeah, we
amazing transformation thing.
Yeah, I was looking back at a text. I mean, I know we're family, and I was looking back at a text, and I was trying to look at it, but it was a message I had sent you like a couple years ago. I know we've seen each other, gone to reunions and all that, and I was talking about because you were doing a show, and I was talking about you doing a show, and hey, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, and then it wasn't our time yet. And then, now here we are in season 2 of KUTC. So it's just hey, it feels good. It really does.
Yeah,
We've had
it's
some.
funny. It's funny how things work out though, because like
Mhm.
I said, when I posted that and you posted your comment, it was like, okay, cool. Hey, fam got my back. If I ever do
Yeah.
anything like this, she's gonna have my back. And then when you called me about doing this show with you, I was like, all right, well then that's manifested. There it is. It
Yeah.
lined
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. So yeah, but I know that when I kind of set out the journey on the podcast, looking for the hardest part was looking for a co-host, and I just felt like, I'm not going to. Yeah, it was really. And I felt like I'm not going to do this unless I have someone that, one, I can bounce ideas off, someone that's receptive to certain things, someone that has ideas and wants to give me some ideas as well. And the biggest thing was having that chemistry. And sometimes you can't work with everybody in your family. But but this right here, this has just been amazing.
Yes, man.
So yeah, I know I mentioned it before. I know the big thing about COVID and you getting over COVID, and now it really sucks because our hot topic is all this stuff that's going on today at the White House. Today was supposed to be a good day at the Capitol. And
Yeah.
then all it just
Chaos at the Capitol.
chaos at the Capitol. Congress was meeting to certify Biden, for his electoral college win, and then it just kind of went to hell
Yeah.
after that. It's just I don't know. What are your thoughts, on what's going on with God,
I
just the chaos at the Capitol?
Well, first of all, I got some pictures that I got a
Okay.
few pictures that I pulled, and I just wanted to show people like this is chaos at the Capitol, but check out what's going on. Like this is
Oh
actual people
yeah.
from the protesters macing the police.
I actually think that all of this, I can't say that the pictures that you're showing, but I was reading some of the commentary about Trump, and Trump was, telling everyone, go home, but he ended it with eventually. Like, don't, you know what I mean? Don't go home now, but it started all of this. Elisa Farrell, she's a former White House communication director. She urged Trump this afternoon to condemn his supporters who stormed the Capitol, amid the congressional certification. And he just I know that he went in the White House garden and made a statement in it, but his statement was even more ludicrous. It was, and also I know you have some more photos. I want you to kind of show the viewers some of
Yeah.
the photos you have.
Yeah, this was an interesting photo because this was taken inside of the Capitol, in the room, in the actual room where they have the meetings at. And this is, you see, I guess some of the security officers are aiming guns at some of the protesters while they're barricaded on the inside. And
Right.
I mean, there was a young lady who was shot. She was shot in the neck, and she actually passed away not too long ago. I think about an hour or so ago. So we're sad to hear that anything would happen to anybody, but these are the type of situations that people kind of bring upon themselves when you go into a place like that and you storm a place like that. That's still a government building.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I
They're going to do what
mean,
they have to do to protect it
yeah, that's
and
still a
the
government
people
building.
inside of it.
Yeah, that's still a government building. You got high profile officials in there, and you're just not going to be able to walk in there and do
Right.
what you want. So, the fact that they got as far as they did is one of the big things. It's like, how did you even get this far in this building?
Right.
And this building's supposed to be very secure. So that's a whole nother conversation. But
Yeah, and,
you know,
I was watching where I saw some of the protesters who did end up getting inside the building, taking photos in the offices and posting them, and one
yes.
guy even took a photo where he showed his face. So, you
Oh,
know,
no. A lot of them show their face. We had one guy, I didn't pull the picture, but I saw one guy actually walking out with the speaker podium. He had the
really?
whole podium walking out, grinning at a camera that somebody took the picture of him. Like, and I mean, I was just
Wow.
like, I was just I'm just blown away. But you know what? I hate to say it, and I know, people will probably dislike this, but that's a sign of that privilege that we often talk about, that it's not
Exactly.
allotted to everybody else. And certain people in this world feel like they're more privileged than others and they can do things and not be reprimanded for it. And that's
Yeah.
one of those situations where I feel like that's definitely it.
Yeah, and I know that slowly, the world and society is is changing that. Like you said, people of privilege. I just think that a lot of people are getting tired of that.
Yep.
And so they are making a stand. And I think that this election and all the good things that have happened with it, it's going to it's going to change that. So it's not like a Democrat Republican kind of thing. What I'm saying is just the privilege part of it. No longer will you have that the privileges that you had. We want I look at it like I'm hoping that the government makes everything as fair as they can. You
Yeah.
know,
And I
no,
think that's the biggest part. I saw a quote today on Facebook actually that said basically that, you have people that don't understand equality, and you got
right,
people that, that are privileged, that when you bring up them being equal to somebody who they deem as below them, it's a slap to their face. And that's
right.
exactly what's going on right now. We have people that are saying things are not equal. Can we get on level playing ground? And these people are like, nah, you don't
Yeah.
belong here. You don't belong
Yeah.
on the level that we're on. So that's where we're going back and forward about it. And Trump is not making it any better because
No, exactly. When you
he's
have a
agging
president that's
everything on.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
inciting it, it's just, and when you have a president that's preaching the same thing like you're saying, he's gonna encourage, go, keep
Yeah.
on. I know one of the things that Biden said, he made a brief statement, and he said that, he was calling on Trump to step up, and he said no matter what, how good or bad a president is, the words matter. And then I watched him walk off, and someone asked Biden a question, and he turned around and he said, "Enough is enough." And basically, kind of putting the ball now in Trump's court. And I think that's when Trump made the statement he made from the Rose Garden at the White House, which didn't help anything uh, at all. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Trump is a master manipulator. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
He has some very tricky ways that
yeah.
he has devised over the years, and he has become very good at it long before he became president of
Oh
our
yeah,
country.
he's a
So
salesman. You
yeah,
know.
so he's very crafty, and a lot of the times, the crazy thing about it is, most of the time when presidents get up and speak, they already have something written or written for them, or they have some things
Mhm.
prepared. Where I'm telling you, I believe Trump, a lot of the stuff that we have seen and heard from Trump is just off the cuff. This is what I'm
Oh
going to do.
yeah, of course, of course. Remember the first couple of hours he was, in office. They asked him to give up his cell phone and give up Twitter. You see that didn't happen.
Nah, because he was still on
So
Twitter tweeting stuff, misspelling
yes,
stuff, all kinds of
yes,
madness. So I'm
and
like,
he's still doing it today. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's crazy when they threaten to ban the president from Twitter.
isn't that awful? That's I don't know. It's just one of those things where attention seeking, and again, like you said, to kind of reiterate what you said, privilege.
Yep. But he's
And
been that way though. He's been the attention
yeah,
seeker for a
but
long
it's
time.
it's different when he is an attention seeker, and he did have a lot of people, pulling, at his pants leg. But look, when you become president, you have more people, and so
Oh
all
yeah.
that's going to be kind of be taken away. He's going to be a normal person.
Yeah.
It's
You
just going
got
to be
See, before
Trump.
he had a decent sized stage, but when you become
Right.
president, you the world is your stage. So
Exactly.
so the
Exactly.
so the things that you do, the things that you say, the ideas that you put out there, the rhetoric that you spew is very, very powerful. And a lot of times people who wouldn't be reached ordinarily by, something Trump said, now that he's become president, people it's falling on ears of the impressionable. Let's say
Exactly. Oh yeah.
that people
Yeah.
that are impressionable and they have, followed his lead,
Right.
so I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, it's just been one of those things where these past 4 years have been an adventure, a roller coaster under
Yeah.
his
Interesting.
presidency. And every time he comes before the world to speak on any platform, I'm always like, okay, so what's about to happen now?
What is he gonna say? What's
What is
about
he
to
going to
come
say
out of
now?
his mouth? Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's the first time that you really see Republicans like, "Oh, man, did we make a mistake?" But then you have those that are gonna always remain silent and not say anything, but in their mind, they're like, "No, this is this is bull right here. We made a mistake," but they will never say it, in public.
Yeah, you got
So,
some hanging in there. You got some that's
yeah.
like, well,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
let
I'm
me
gonna
out the
exit
car.
stage, yeah.
Let me out the car. 'Cause
Exactly,
I don't
yeah.
want to ride with you no more.
I'm done. It's a bumpy ride.
You're driving erratically,
You're
like,
driving slugs.
yeah, you trying to kill us. Like, I want out. So,
Yeah, well,
and that's sad that, the presidency, to me, this is what I was thinking earlier. To me, if I was Trump, I would want to leave my presidency on a good note.
oh, yeah.
To me, like I would want to not ruffle feathers, but he's throwing a tantrum is what it seems like,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
doesn't want to leave, and he's gonna drag and kick and scream until the end.
But it's all about reputation, and, his reputation has always been to kick and scream when he doesn't get his way, and so you probably could have expected this from Trump, but I don't think that you probably I didn't expect this much. I thought that after he was denied all those petitions and everything to recount the ballots and all that, I thought that he would bow out gracefully, but no, it just is, it's
He
not
is
going to happen.
definitely persistent.
Yeah, and it's sad to see the things that have happened today, kind of continue on because the president of the United States is kicking and screaming and wants his way.
Yeah, and I
It's
just hope that it doesn't spill over into our day-to-day lives where, the interactions that occur today, those people don't bring that energy back to the areas where they live and
oh
try to,
yeah,
what I'm
I
saying, act on
agree.
those things as well, because then you have a whole nother issue.
Yeah, and just to kind of wrap this up, I wonder what Trump is going to do once he has to leave the White House. Is he going to find another political office to take basically take over and bring those followers with him and cause more chaos? I think only time will tell.
On the
So.
next episode of Trump.
Yeah. Anyway, every week we profile a successful small business. And this week we are proud to shine the light on Wind and Soul Eco Resort founded by Gwen Taylor. Wind and Soul is aspiring to become the Southeast first fully sustainable eco resort in premier yoga, wellness, healing, arts retreats. I really want to get Gwen Taylor, the founder of the resort, on the show because she has a very, very interesting story. And I think that um, just her motivation and just her courage to do this is really amazing. Wind and Soul, they offer a sustainable, eco-friendly, handcrafted beauty and wellness products as well as the yoga. But because of COVID, they have kind of had to pivot. And so a lot and what Gwen ended up doing is they put some eco and health friendly products on Etsy, and so you have to check out their hand poured beeswax candles. Now I talked to Gwen, and I need to talk to her again. She told me that she is going to give us some products, and so when we get them, we'll kind of try them out and let our viewers know what we think about it. And
Cool.
yeah, so they have like like I said, the beeswax, the hand poured beeswax candles. In 2021, this year, they're going to launch the new Rose Health and Beauty product line featuring handmade rose potpourri. But anyway, Wind and Soul, what they believe in is the critical importance of self care for others, and care for the earth. To learn more about Wind and Soul, you can visit them at windandsoul.com. All right. So if you want your business to appear in the business spotlight, go to KUTC Live on Facebook and complete the form in our About section, and we will get right back to you. Now, we'll say we have a lot of businesses waiting on the platform, so gonna have to give us a chance to get back with you. So just hang in there. We'll get to you on the business spotlight.
Yep.
There's a lot of successful entrepreneurs, a lot of small businesses, and I really like doing the business spotlight because that's when you get the opportunity to find out about so many products you never would have otherwise heard about. Because some of them are small but big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Small business, but they're already established. So,
right,
they have some products that probably people may have seen or may not have seen, but that are
yeah,
really good products and
yeah,
already been tested and already been proven.
hmm,
And we just need to get our hands on them so we can tell the people about them.
that's right.
Yep.
So, what's up? What's going on? What we got? You know.
Well, today we have
Yes.
Dr. Joe Martin. Y'all, I'm telling
Yes.
y'all, like I met him through the show. We've interviewed him before, and let me tell you, he dropped some major gems. And I say that a lot. I talk about gems, and people know what I'm talking about. Things that you can put in your bag and take with you for the rest
Mhm.
of your life, like life lessons. Like, and he builds men. And what people don't understand, you go to the website and you see some of the things that he has going on, and you see some of the videos, and he has this thing that he does. It's kind of like a 300 thing, and the guys really get into it, but it's powerful to see
Mhm.
men in that setting willing to listen and learn from someone who they may not even know. And
Exactly. Oh
that's the
yeah.
powerful part. So hopefully today, people will tune in, men and women alike, because I told people this week, hey, don't just think because we're saying he's the man builder that you can't listen, because last time he dropped some bombs for the ladies,
Oh yeah. Oh
especially when he
yeah.
was talking about his daughter. And we have a clip of that we're going to play later. But when he was talking about what his expectation was for men and for his daughter when she's selecting somebody, that was powerful.
That was very powerful.
Yeah.
It
So,
was.
like I said, he is waiting on us backstage. So we're gonna bring him on. I mean, he is amazing. He's an award-winning national speaker, author, educator, certified man builder. Like I said last time, he dropped some bombs on us. We're gonna go ahead and bring on Dr. Joe Martin.
Yes. Welcome to the show, Dr. Joe Martin.
Hey
Hey,
guys.
how are you?
He
I
good.
am doing fantastic. I got to tell you,
Good.
and I'm going to make you guys blush a little bit. When you know how they have you in the back room when you come on. And I came on, and I saw your pictures. I saw Big Ken, and and also just the biggest smile just came on my face because it just brought me back. You know how you get that euphoria that it takes you back. Oh man, that's right. I had such a wonderful time on their show the last time I was here.
Yeah,
So I
we
am
did
so
too. We
excited to be
talked.
back.
Yeah, we talked about you for a long time, and we still talk about you today because it's just amazing. You are an amazing person, your story and everything, your journey. But to have the grandiose smile, and then to have the you know the the f- the the fact that you're building men, and
Mhm.
people look at it kind of, they don't look at it. I myself looked at it in a different way until you explained it to me and made it clear,
Right.
so I knew. It's like I listened to the show today from the first show, and I was like, oh man, we could have probably gone on and on and on and on and on.
And
So
I gotta tell
yeah.
you, and Tori, I met my match with you because you pressed me hard, man. You wouldn't let me on. Ken ain't even help me out. He just let you at me, boy.
Hey, I was learning. I was learning.
So no, I am
So
so happy to be back, man.
yeah,
So happy.
and I'm glad you're back, and I want to jump right into it. I know that I spoke with Ken today, and I told him, I said, you know what, I want you to drive today, but let me drive a little bit first.
All right.
But I want to ask you because it was I know you and I have been emailing back and forth, and I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you, one of the big questions is you get with a lot of women is when you are dating a guy and the woman wants to know about the guy's past. How important is that in a relationship in terms of the honesty part of it? You know,
I think it's vitally important. And are you talking about from the male's perspective of what should he share or should he, or or you talking from
right.
the woman's perspective, how much should she press him for his past?
Well, it's kind of it's almost like both of those because sometimes when you are dating someone, a woman wants to know why you broke up with the last person you broke up with. And
Absolutely.
and it's kind of twofold. One, because they want to know, what did you do?
Mhm.
And two, just like you said, women press men. So I kind of want to get your take on that.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play it like this. I'm going to look at it from the woman's point of view, but I'm going to respond to how the man should respond. Okay. Because as we know, and I hate the stereotype, but women, y'all want to know stuff. All
Yeah.
right. And a lot of times y'all ask questions y'all really don't want to know the answer to, but
Yeah.
you're asking anyway.
That breaks
So,
me.
yeah. So they're going to ask questions. And so what guys, and at least this is now, I'm gonna get it from the perspective of a guy. I'm not intimidated. When I used to date, I had to, after I ruined my first marriage, I had to go back and date again. You got to understand, I got married at a very young age, at 22 years old. It went 16 years. So I had been
Oh
out of
wow.
the dating pool forever. So
Hmm.
I even tried to reconcile my marriage. So I stopped, I didn't even date for like 2 years after I got divorced because I was hoping and praying maybe she'll take me back, kind of thing. You guys know about my story. I was a
Yeah.
horrible, didn't know how to be a man. I was a good man, but I wasn't a godly man. And
Hmm.
so I didn't know. I was ABT, ain't been taught, didn't know how to be a man. And so
Hmm.
I took 2 years off, and everybody thought I was crazy for not going out there to date because here I was still in my now late 30s making good money, right?
Hmm.
And I'm a black man, and there's a lot of women to choose from when you're a
Right.
black
Yeah.
man and you straight. You follow me? And so
Yeah.
there was a lot, and so I wasn't doing it. But now I kind of accepted reality. She doesn't want me back, and we're not going to get back together. And we're still friends today, but we're not going to get back together. So I said, I'm going to start dating again. Now, this is my advice to the men when it comes to women who want to know stuff. All right. Now, they're going to think I'm crazy, but I'm happily married now. So it
Mhm.
worked. So
Yeah.
I would now, and this is me, I don't hold back anything. I started on my date. It's the mindset of the man. I'm not, Tori, we'll use you as an example. Me and you are set up. Ken set us up on a date, right?
Mhm.
And Tori, we know how Tori is, right, Ken? She wants to know stuff. She's going to ask questions. But here's my mindset. I'm not going out on a date to impress Tori. I'm going out on a date to interview Tori to see if she's wife material. That's
Mm.
me. I ain't got time. I'm too old to be trying to date you. I want to know, can I marry this? Is she marriage material to me? I ain't got time to play games.
Right.
You know, no, I want to know, are you worth my time? So that means since now this is an interview, I don't care what you think of me because of my past. Are you following me on this? So you may ask me, Joe, so what happened? How come a guy like you is single? Well, I was married for 16 years and I became a serial adulterer. I cheat on my wife more times than I can count. Now, you would think that would scare off the average woman, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
guess what? You said, well, check, please. Guess what?
Yep.
You ain't the
Yeah.
one. Are you following
Right.
me?
Exactly. Yeah. That makes sense. You're being real. You're
I'm being real. You're gonna find out about it anyway. And so I might as well check and see, is this where you want to work?
Right.
See, if I'm actually a boss, I'm gonna interview in a way to say, I'm gonna tell you why the last person quit, why you don't want this job. Do you still want it? Are you fine?
Right. That makes
Because what do employees do? Employees tell you all the good stuff about the job, then you get there and you think, I want to sue these people because they lied to me. They ain't telling me these people bat crazy on this job. No, I'm asking questions. So I expect you to ask me questions. So I would tell women exactly what happened. I tell them the whole story. No different than I was on your show. I'm telling you the truth. Now, you may judge me for it, but you're just a judge, but you ain't the judge.
Right.
So I don't really care what you think about me. I want you to know that if I can be this honest with you now, what do you think's gonna happen if we get married?
Right.
Are you following me? I'm giving you a preview of what kind of husband material you're getting into. I got a pass, and I'm sorry for it. I wish I can go back and change it. But guess what? If I do enough digging on you, I'll find out your past too. If you're willing to be honest, as I'm willing to be honest.
Right.
That's true.
You ain't always been sweet.
Right.
You know what I mean? And perfect and pristine. I'm just airing my laundry before you do yours. So I'm just telling you the truth. Anything you want to ask me. Now, but you have to understand, I'm going into this quote interview where I'm not going to hold anything back. But here's why I'm so confident on this end, because God has already told me what I'm looking for. And here's one of the key things I'm looking for and why I'm not afraid to tell you about my past. Because based on my first marriage and what I've learned now in hindsight, because hindsight is 2020, I don't need a woman to just love me. I need a woman who will love me in spite of, not until. Let me say that again.
Powerful.
That will love me in spite of my past, not until she finds out what.
Right.
See, I need a woman who's going to love me, not because I got a good job, not because I got a good job, until I'm broke. No, I don't need you to love me until I'm broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I need somebody who I know God has told me that you would still be with your first wife if she loved you in spite of, not until.
Right.
Now, people say that's crazy love. Guess what? Jesus loved us in spite of.
Yeah,
because he knew that we were sinners before he went to that cross. He knew he was innocent and we were guilty, but he went on that cross anyway. So I need somebody. See, it's one thing to tell you if I'm dating you, and you might say, yeah, Joe, I forgive your past because I didn't do it to you, Tori. I did it to her.
Right.
But I need a woman who's going to also forgive my future. Because I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes. And will you love me through it? The reason why I'm with my wife today, because she loves me in spite of, not until. She is ride or die. And she's even told women this story. I know you don't think this is crazy. My wife told women, they said, aren't you concerned about Joe's past and all these other women and all this other stuff? She said, I ain't scared of him cheating on me. He said, if he cheats on me, he said, I'm not going anywhere. He gonna wish he never did it, but I'm not going anywhere. And I asked, I said, Tanya, why would you tell her? She said, Joe, because even if you did, yeah, I want to kill you. But she said, but even if you did, I know enough about you to know that's what you did, but that's not who you are.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Woman. Somebody
I think that's one of the most powerful things, because we had a comment and the comment says, yeah, you wasn't loving her in spite of with your first wife.
Right.
But what these people have to understand is when you go through a situation and you make mistakes, that's the beauty of life, is you get a second chance at things. And you shouldn't repeat those mistakes. So you have to give people, like you said, if you're on a date and she asks you a question and you upfront and honest completely, like they should value that. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, like you said, they might run, but you really should gravitate toward that. If this person can be this open and honest with you this early, that means that they're on a mission.
Yeah,
Right.
and they're not just
Yeah.
trying to win you, they're trying to build a relationship with you. A relationship can only be built on trust. And the thing is, I understand what I did in my first marriage. Again, ABT ain't been taught. And when you're on a process with somebody, you're learning together. You're learning together. And the thing is, it's not going to be rainbows and unicorns. And
Right.
what I can tell you, and I don't want to put my wife out there, but she would tell you if she was on the call today. She says, "Wow." She's even when we've gotten through our season, she says, "Why are you still with me?" She
Mm,
asked. Why? She
mm,
said, "The average person, and for that person who's out there saying, 'Well, what would you do for us?' I learned something from my first wife.
right.
That
Hmm.
when I tell you that I'm going to be with you, it's sickness and in health.
Right.
It's rich
Oh,
or poor. Are you following me? To
Yeah.
death do us part.
yeah.
When my wife and I were dating, I told her, I said, there's only one way you getting out of this marriage. Either you going to prison, or you going to prison, or you dying. It's either one. We ain't getting out of it.
Which
I'm
one?
done. I've been through the first one. No. And she's crazy enough, just like me, to say, no, nobody. There's no plan B.
Yeah.
And so for the people who have a hard time forgiving somebody's past, you got your white knuckling and hoping and praying they don't do the worst. You know how you can tell? We're talking about dating now, but when I'm talking to people about, they said, "Joe, I don't really know, if I'm ready to be married." I said, "Here's what you knew." I said, "Nobody ever asked you this when you go into the marriage, because everybody's like, 'Oh, I'm just in love, and boy, it's this and this is so great.'" Now, maybe call me pessimistic or cynic. I'm looking at this. What's the worst thing Tori could do to me? What's the worst thing that would just break my heart? It's going to be different for every person.
Yeah.
Deal breakers. You know what I'm talking about. The deal breakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
What thing she could do? Now, if she did, could I love her through that?
Mm.
Could I love her through that? And if the answer, now I gotta be honest, if the answer is no, I shouldn't propose.
Yeah, but let me stop you for a second because um uh, you know uh, uh, a lot of women will say, you'll ask her that question, what's the worst thing that she could do to me, and could you love her through that? Well, here's the thing. You
Makes
say
sense.
but you say that until it really happens. So I remember years ago, I was dating someone, and I don't know how the conversation, who started the conversation or how it went, but we asked the other one, if I cheated on you, would you stay? And the answer was yes. It
Right,
was yes until it happened,
right.
and then it changed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, hell no. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it it's like, so I couldn't love that person past or through that. It
Right.
was, and at the time, I don't know if you look at a person like you look at them through the Google and the love eyes, and then when something happens, you're like, I can't do it. I can't. And so I think that, one, I admire your wife because she seems to be a very, very strong woman. Because if you would have told, maybe, I'm just gonna say the average woman, what you
Right.
said on a date,
Mm-hmm.
they probably could not get past that. But she saw through all that. That's not who you are right now. You
Yeah.
know, you you
But you
know,
know
and
why
I think,
she could do that, Tori? And this is important for the listeners to hear this. And I can only speak for me and I can speak for my wife. Um, and let me see if I can put this in context. This is my second marriage, and we're happily married. This marriage is actually tougher than my first, but
why is that? Because you have,
but I'm happier
hmm,
because I'm better and I'm stronger.
right,
Here's why, and that's why my wife can make a statement like that, and I can. We're both guilty. We got a lot
hmm,
of blood on our hands.
right,
So the air person said, "Yeah, I'll do it," and they do it. I'm out. You don't know how big of a sinner we are.
right.
I am one of the most forgiving people you will ever meet. And Ken, why do you think I'm so doggone forgiving? People think I'm just stupid because what? I'm usually the biggest sinner in the room.
Yeah, you've had to
It's
be forgiven
amazing how much
before,
it's
so
amazing how much you'll forgive when you realize how guilty you are.
Hmm,
And the person
right.
who's willing to run up and run because they don't understand what to be forgiven is about.
Hmm.
I've been forgiven for so much. It is a crime for me. I'll give you a more personal example. And I think I mentioned this on your show. You guys heard about my childhood growing up.
yes.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
sexually abused as a child for 3 years. 3 years. Suicidal and everything. But that was the child. Today, Guess what? Do you think I have any hard feelings towards that person? No. If I saw that person today, you know what I would tell that person? Jesus loves you. I forgive you. And the reason I can forgive you is because he's forgiven me. Do you know him? Do you know him?
That's just that's
now
powerful.
here's what you get ready to say. Now people say, well, that's hard.
Yeah.
But here's it. Do you know him? I ain't talking about knowing about him and you going to church on Sundays. I'm talking about, have you been in that pit when you know you deserved hell? You know you didn't deserve a second chance. I can't speak for anybody else. People who know me, I deserve to be in hell for what I've done. How dare I now judge you because what you did to me? Are you following me? I should be right behind you if I'm going to condemn you to hell.
And I've never heard it put like that. So it makes it different. It makes, as you're talking, I'm thinking about the bad things that a person did to me, and finding it so hard to forgive.
It's so hard to forgive because you've gotten amnesia. Because you've gotten amnesia. And how much you've hurt and offended God. What you've done to him and what you deserve for that.
I haven't heard it like that before. So,
but guess what? This that tells us that. The Bible tells us that. That's where I got it from.
But when you're going through when you're going through the physical and the mental hurt from someone, honestly, and I'm a Christian, but I want to say this because I feel like I can say this to you. You're not thinking about the Bible.
Right. You ain't thinking about the Bible.
You're not thinking about what it says. But what I want to do real quick, Dr. Martin, is I want to play a clip for you. And it's a clip that we were talking about honesty. And you were sort of like talking about if your daughter was dating, but yet you were talking to myself and Ken. So go ahead and play that, Ken.
Okay.
Faith, if you're gonna bring a man here for me to meet, make sure he's honest. Now, what do I mean by he's honest? That he's emotionally honest. I'm talking about willing to tell you the truth and not keep secrets from you. Remember Joshua said that he was good at deceiving?
Yes.
So was I. A real man is not going to keep secrets. And how you know how honest he is? He's willing to tell you the truth, Tori, even if it costs losing you.
That's powerful.
That's powerful.
When Tori sent me that clip and I listened to that again, I said a lot of people won't understand that because they never been in that type of situation, never thought about it that way. But like that's powerful.
You got to love somebody enough that you rather hurt them than lose. You rather lose them than hurt them.
Exactly.
And that takes a mature person to be able to do that. And when I look back at my ex-wife and what I did, and I can tell you it's now been over 15 years, and there's not at least in the last 15 years that a month has not gone by or even a week that I don't think about it. And I look back and I said, even if I couldn't change anything, like I couldn't, let's say I still did it. All right. The one thing I wish I would have done now is told her, as opposed to her finding it out. It'd have been better just to lose her over telling her then, because now every time I think about it, I'm thinking she's probably thinking, that fool lied up. What is he else he's holding back from me? What else he's not telling me? And now she questions, am I still holding back? So my wife now, no secrets. No secrets. I ain't got time for secrets, man.
I think that's a really valuable point, though, because I think not enough people value the truth, right? They think about, okay, well, I don't want my feelings hurt, but do you want me to continue lying to you?
Yeah.
And then you find out about it later on down the line, or do you want me to be honest with you about everything, even the day-to-day stuff? It might hurt your feelings if I say, you know what? You cooked that chicken. The chicken wasn't that good. Why would you want me to lie to you about it? And I'm just gonna tell you, so maybe we can help you get better at cooking the chicken.
Now, you know what? I would add this too, because you have some people out there who this is not challenging for them at all. They really love telling the truth, but they do it in a way that's not loving, right? And so here's the way because I had to follow this advice myself, because I'll be blunt and tell you stuff, but God says I want you to do it in love. And so here's a great litmus test when you're telling the truth to somebody. When you tell them in this hard truth, if you're going to tell them, if it hurts them, it should hurt you to tell them. In other words, if I'm going to tell you a hard truth, Tori, that I know can hurt you, a tear better fall from my eye too, while I'm telling you. I'll give you another example. We mentioned my daughter. I'll give you a great example. She was teasing me about this. She's now in college. And I guess maybe it was a month ago. We were in the bedroom and I had like a book in my hand and I popped her on the butt with it. Right. Well, my wife was in the bed. She's leaning over our bed. I said, get out of our bed. Right. And she says, Daddy, you hit me on, hit me on the butt. And she says, she said this, she says, that's the second time you hit me like that. Right. And she said, you remember the first time, Daddy? And then she started laughing. My wife said, what are you laughing for, Faith? She said, you don't remember, Mommy, the first time Daddy gave me a spanking, because she's not my biological daughter. Okay. And she says that he said, Mama, it was pathetic. Like that, right? She says, why? She said, because when he spanked me, he was crying. Right? Oh my God.
It hurt you more. It hurt you more.
And I'm thinking, Mommy never cries when she spanks me. Well, I feel sorry for him. And then my wife told her this. My wife says, baby, he said, you better appreciate that. So you better appreciate that he feels that for you. And she said, Dad, I've been wanting to ask you this for years. She said, why were you crying? Because I think it's because she was lying and we got tired of her lying. And my wife, and you know how a single mom is, I don't want you touching my baby. That's my daughter. But my wife had to touch me. So this is the first time I had to do it. And my wife couldn't even be in the same room. She said, okay, go ahead and do it. So my daughter asked me, says, Daddy, why? Why were you so upset by that? And I said, baby, and I said, I've done a lot of bad things. You know all the stuff I've done in my life. I said, but I've never laid my hands on a woman before. Not even my sister who used to get on my nerves growing up. All right. Not even my sister. I said, and I never thought the first one would be my daughter.
Wow.
And it broke my heart.
It hurts. Yeah.
It broke my heart.
Hurts.
Did she deserve it? Yes. But it hurt. So do they deserve the truth? Yes, but I can't get any pleasure out of telling you a hard truth. Like when you ask about the chicken, how did chicken taste? I gotta tell you. But I gotta share this funny story with you, Kim. My daughter, she came in one day. She's like, Faith had to be about maybe 13 or 14. She says, Daddy, you know how girls are, right? Daddy, what do you think of this dress? What do you think of this dress?
Oh, no.
There, right? And I ain't like it. Right? And so she said, what do you think of this dress? And I said, now, baby, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or do you want me to tell you the truth? Right? And she says, yeah, tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I want to hear. I said, it looks beautiful, baby. It looks beautiful. But she knew that she knows, baby, I ain't gonna lie to you. Now I'm gonna tell you, want me to tell you the truth, or what you want to, what you want to tell me what I want to hear. That it looks beautiful, baby. It's a gorgeous dress. And she was okay with that. Long as she got it, she just wanted that admiration from her dad. That's all she wanted.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes that's all it is. It's like, even though they may know the truth, it's just, when it comes from you in a different way, it's like, well, he said it was nice. I know what he means, but he said it was nice. What I want to ask you is, and this may kind of be in a different direction, but I want to, the expectations that a woman has for men, there times have changed. Things are kind of different. And there's like these little subtle expectations that a woman has for a man. And I don't know if it's like this is part of the characteristics that a woman wants from a man. It's like, for example, it's like, why is there this expectation that the man has to change the tire, the man has to take out the trash, the man has to do these things, but yet and still, and I'm not downing the women or anything, but yet and still you hear a woman say, I don't need a man, or you hear a woman say to her mother, Happy Father's Day. Where does all of that come from?
Societal norms. That's what it's what we've been taught and expected in our culture, because it may be a little bit different in another culture, in the Eastern culture. So it's society norms, and we live according to norms. It's expected that a man would change the tire, or a man would do this, or man. and I don't know if because I've been on so many different shows, but I remember somebody was talking about a woman earning more than the guy,
Yeah, I think we talked
and
about
men
that
get
too.
upset about that. I don't get upset about that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all in the same pot. Right? I'm saying
exactly.
I'm cool with that, But society norm says, "Oh, you are less than a man if your wife is earning more than you." I don't believe that, but
Right,
it's how you it's what norms are you buying into, and it's a cultural thing with us, and we have to break ourselves out of that by being intentional. That there is no, there. What to me there? I don't go by society's norms. I go by what God says.
Mm-hmm.
Not about what society says, but I'm according to what God says. And I know I have distinct role and a responsibility. In the Bible, it doesn't tell me that I need to be changing tires. You know what I mean? That
Right.
I got to take care of all these other responsibilities. I know what I've been commanded to do, which is to love my wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. That if I expect her, quote, to submit, I must demonstrate what submission looks like to her by submitting to him. Now, that's the only norm I'm going by. All that other stuff is gravy. Like I give you an example, and I still get tripped up by it because I give you an example with our yard. I'm like free spirited. My wife is a GI Jane. I told you guys that she's ex-military, ex-law enforcement. My wife can beat me up. I ain't gonna even. I'm man enough to say it. I'm man enough to say it. And guess what, Ken? Don't laugh. She can beat you up too. All right. She's a GI Jane, man. She was a sergeant. She was over men in the police department. She's an expert fireman. I'm talking what they're marksman with the guns and everything. She shoots guns better than I do and all this other stuff. But I'm not intimidated by that because I know who I am in Christ and who God has called me to be. But I get my my moments. And one of the moments is when I don't like cutting the grass, right? And so my wife comes home and she said, "Babe, don't you think that grass needs to be cut like that?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it. Yeah, I'll get to it." And I'll put it off and I'll put it off. And then one day I'll come up, she says, where's the gasoline for the lawnmower? Faith and I are gonna go out there and we're gonna cut the grass. I said, "No, you're not." Like that, right? This is what I like cutting the grass. I like doing. I said, "You ain't getting out there cutting that grass," and everybody knowing this neighborhood knowing that my wife out there cutting. I know that's in my flesh, but there's still somebody that hasn't died yet. I don't want to treat that, but that's society norm. But okay, I'll cut the grass right now. I'll do it. But overall, the thing is, yes, I still am subjected to society norms too. And if I'm gonna pump the gas, I ain't gonna let my wife pump the. But if she insists, I ain't stopping her. You know what I mean? But I do feel like because I'm a victim of society norms too. But you can't let it control you and think she's less than because of it. I don't look at my wife being less than. I just told you she's stronger. She could beat me up. But I look at it, but I know my role. I am the spiritual head. I am the spiritual. And people say, "What does that mean?" That means you're over. I said, "No, that means the spiritual head means that I must initiate. I don't wait and I don't react. I initiate. I lead. I set the bar. I set an example."
I heard where it says that one of the characteristics of, and I use the word real man. One of the characteristics of a real man is that he takes the first initiative. He leads.
Yeah, he leads. Because even love, I define love as saying, "I'll go first. I'll forgive first. I'll humble myself first. I'll seek forgiveness first. I'll sacrifice first. I'll serve first. I'll wash your feet first. I will go ahead first to check and see if it's safe." It's going now. You know what's funny about it now? This I still don't get this, Ken. My wife is expert marksmanship, ex-military, ex-law enforcement. If somebody comes to our door, she's sending me. Hell? Like that, I'm like, "You the one can shoot him." Like that, right? But she said because she expects that's, and guess what? I'm gonna be the first one out the bed.
Yeah.
Because I'll go first. Because you may get us, you have to kill me first. I'm going first. And I love the fact that about her, that she knows she's better in that area, but she says, go protect us.
Yeah, she still allows you to feel that role.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. And now what's going on inside me? Like, "You sure?" But she has so much confidence in me. I'm like, I guess I got it. I love it. I love it.
And I think that's good because I think a lot of women don't see it that way,
Yeah.
and you
Right.
know they don't understand that it's some things in a man that the man just needs to do, and he
Yeah.
needs to fill that role, and he needs to feel
Yeah.
important in that
You need
role.
to feel important.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes, even if you can do it, just allow him to do it because he's willing to do it first and foremost. And number two is because he feels like that's his role. So
Mhm.
allow him to fulfill that role. And you know, there's just something that one less thing that you have to do as a woman
Yeah.
is, you know, do these things that he wants to do anyway.
You know, and
Right.
I think I mentioned this
Yeah.
last time on the show. And if not, this is a good time to repeat it, even if I did, is anything with two heads is a monster.
Mhm.
Okay. Think about this. If you saw a snake with two heads, you already don't like snakes, but if you saw it with two
Right.
heads,
2 hands? Yeah.
they'll scare the
Yeah.
crap out of you. And
Yeah.
so there can only be one head. Anything with two heads is dysfunctional. Something's wrong with that. It's scary.
Mhm.
And so somebody has to lead now. And for the men out there who are listening to this, well, Joe, you don't understand my wife, and she's this. Now, I can't believe any woman is more hardcore than my wife. Because one of the jokes I make, and when I get around settings, they say, tell us something about your wife that most people don't know. I said, that she can beat up yours. And they laugh, and I'm like, I'm serious. And half of y'all men in this room too, like that, right? I said that's something. But so what I like, or what I think people need to understand is that when you're going to if you got a woman who just refuses, I'm talking about I'm not submitting to the man anything. This is what I tell my wife, because I know I wish she was on right now. She'll tell you that this ain't easy for her. Because I'm making it sound as if it's easy for her to do it. She said, She said, I struggle, but I continue to do it because God said so. But here's the thing that I tell men when they say, but what do you do when the woman just resists and resists? Tell her the truth. So when you tell the truth,
Mhm.
tell her that, you know what? I can't force you to do anything. God has asked me to lead, and I'm going to be faithful to do what he says, but I'm not going to make you follow. I'm just going to make sure I'm faithful. And I'm going to be faithful in leading. If you want to come, you can. But when all is said and done and I stand before him, I'm going to say, God, I was your good and faithful servant. You can talk to that wife when she gets here. You just do your job. So my thing is, I make suggestions in our house. You follow me? I lead, but if she don't follow, that's between her and God. And so what my wife has learned to do, that I trust the God in him to follow him. And if
Oh,
she
yeah.
chooses not to, I can't tell you how many conversations where we had, and she'll say, baby, what do you think I should do? And I would tell her, and she said, but I don't want to do that. I said, now, I just told you, I prayed on this. The Holy Spirit led me on this. And I just told you, this is what I think we should do. Now, if you want to go outside of that, you take it up with God. You notice I ain't trying to put my foot down.
Right. Yeah.
I'm saying, no.
That's
We're under submission to him. Submission means under a mission, submission. We're under
right.
his mission. This ain't my house. We're under his house. And if you want to step out of rank, you got to talk to him. I'm going to continue to take my orders from him, and I'm going to communicate it to you, and you do what you want to do.
Right.
You follow me? And that's what she's learning to trust, is that
Mhm.
I'm going to him for the mission. You
Mhm.
get it?
Yeah.
And I think as a leader, especially leader of the household, that kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off, because she has to understand where your direction is coming from.
Right.
Because a lot of women, a lot of men, you know, we just do things because we feel like it, or because this is the way our dad did it, or this is the way our grandfather did it, but we're not getting divine orders. And when you say, you know, when you can honestly say that you prayed and you talked to God and God gave you these orders and this is what's been handed down, it's kind of hard for her to argue with that if she's a Christian lady and
Right.
she respects the order of the household and knows that you're the leader. Because that's one thing that I had listed on my list here, is because I don't think sometimes society or women, especially our wives, understand the pressures that a husband or a man is under in this society as a leader.
I tell you something that I told my wife, and she just got quiet when I told her. We do couples devotional every Sunday, and I lead it and come up with questions, and we just kind of talk about it honestly. And I forgot what the question that was generated, but I remember my response, and she got real quiet. And I said, Tanya, I said, you have a privilege that I don't have as a wife. She said, what's that? I said, you're only concerned about today. And bless your heart. Isn't it great, Tori, that you can worry about the family today? Is everybody happy? Is everybody safe? Is everybody feeling good? I said, but I got to think generationally.
Facts.
See, you're looking
Wow.
at Faith, our daughter, and our son today.
Wow,
I'm
that's
looking at what
strong.
kind of husband she's going to marry, what kind of wife she's going to be. I'm looking at what kind of example I'm setting for my son. Is she going to be some future woman's nightmare? And I'm preparing.
Mhm.
I'm thinking about their children and their children who I will never see, because they're going to talk about the faith that I had. See, it's got to be awesome.
Wow.
All you got to worry about is bills today. Are we going to pay the bills?
Mhm.
I got to think generations, because that's my job. It's got to be nice to only be thinking about today.
Yeah.
But I stay up at night. I think about it. I'm wondering how is this going to affect their future relationships? What are they going to remember? What are they going to remember most about me? Not about I was a great dad, a great husband. Will they talk about my faith? Will they talk about my God? Tanya, you don't lose sleep over that? I do. Oh, I guess that's right, because you're not
Wow.
a man. You're not a man. That's right. That's me.
Well,
But Tori, I'm telling you, that's the truth.
Well,
Wow.
Dr. Martin, we're nearing the end of the show. So toward the end of the interview, we like to give our guests an opportunity to share something with the audience before you leave, an encouraging thought or something they can take with them to, carry them throughout the next week, the next month, the next year. Because a lot of people are going through a lot right now. The
Mhm.
pandemic is still going. Just, give the people something inspirational before we get out of here.
I would give it something that I think would actually be, we're talking about generational. I'm going to give it something that I think that is going to outlast just this time. And I wish that I could plant it on the hearts of every person listening. Because when it comes down to it, people always ask me all the time, they say, Joe, what is the biggest thing? Well, if you can do one thing for the men that you work with, what would it be? And I always tell them, I said, I would help a man understand his true identity in Christ. Because if your identity impacts your destiny, remember I told you that my wife said, oh, I'll forgive him because I know that's not who he is. That's what he did. See, she separated my behavior from my identity. And most of us struggle because when you see a man on a plane or you meet some guy, random guy, you know how, Tori, this is what we do. You know how what men want to find out about each other as soon as they meet a stranger? What do you do?
Do.
Yep.
Yep.
They don't ask, who are you? They ask, so Ken, so what do you do, bro? Everybody, because we define who we are based on what we do. That's not true, though. You're not what you do. What if Ken couldn't do the show? What
Right.
if he couldn't do the work that he does? What if I couldn't do Real Men Connect? I'm not Real Men Connect. I just happen to do that for a living. But who I am is more important than what I do. And so here's what I would leave for the people listening, male or female, but this is what we call our real man reality. Our men, we teach them to memorize this, to know it and recite. I say it when I go to bed at night to myself in my head as I go to sleep, and listen to the words in this. This is what I would give to the listeners. That you are powerful because the Holy Spirit dwells within you. You are valuable because God sacrificed his only son for you. So when God sees you, he sees the righteousness of his son, Jesus Christ, not your sins. So that means that you are blameless to him. That means that he considers you worthy, and you're holy. This is your new born again identity in Christ. So as God renews your mind according to his truth, not what your mama said, not what your daddy said, not what Tori thinks, not what Ken thinks, not what my ex says, but according to his truth, he will give me the grace to live my life righteously. Any questions?
Wow.
We make our men memorize that because now they're not attached to their masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
They're not attached to their income, their occupation. They're not attached to their reputation, their anger, and their power and their strength. No, you're who he says you are. And that's that's the gift I would give to all of your listeners. It will change your life when you start believing that.
Wow.
That is very powerful. And I was listening to what you were saying, and as I was like, you know what? You always say such powerful things, and I can take the things that you said from the last time we spoke, with the last interview, and now, and I could put them in quotes and give them to our viewers, because it's just that powerful. And people need that. People, they need that word. Um, you know, not from you. I mean, they need it from you, but also from the spirit in which it comes from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Because
so
guess what? I didn't come up
it's
with
very
any of it. It's all from his word. I'm just owning it.
right.
And I'm clinging to it because I can't make it without it. Because my sins are
Oh
ever
yeah.
before me. And the enemy wants to tell me nobody will ever want you. You'll never be good
Mm-hmm.
enough. Do you know what you did? You call yourself a Christian? Man, with that past,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't trust you as far as I can see you. Yeah, keep talking, devil. But
Yep,
he
that's what
says,
the enemy will say. Yep.
I'm the
Uh-huh.
righteousness of Jesus Christ. He says I'm powerful. He says I'm more than a conqueror. He says I'm the head, not tail. He says, what'd you say again? My daddy says. And I'm going to walk in what he says rather than what you're trying to make me feel.
That's
Mm-hmm.
powerful. That's
It
facts.
is. It is. And
My people, Dr. Joe Martin.
oh man, I love you on the show.
Thank you,
It's just
guys. Thank you.
always so awesome. And I want to thank you, because if it wasn't for your words and learning how the things, I'm not without sin. And I
Mhm.
was telling you how it was that I just couldn't forgive this person who did such bad things to me, but you made me look at it in a different way. And I really, really, really appreciate. And I've learned a lot, but I'm telling you that right there, it was a lot for me. And I know if I felt that, I'm not the only one
Right.
that looked at it like I didn't do anything, he did. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm good, you know. But thank you, so much. I really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to have you on the
Anytime.
show. And
Thank you guys so much.
yeah,
God bless what you guys are doing. And thank you for
thank
allowing me
you.
to speak to your audience, to share from my life, just the lessons, the ups and the downs and the turns and everything. Thank you so much for giving me a platform to share.
No
Thank you so
problem at
much.
all.
We love it. Thank
All right,
you.
y'all. Dr. Joe Martin.
All
Peace.
right.
You guys take
Bye.
care. All righty.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow,
man.
it's always so amazing to talk to him, and I did not think that he was gonna put me in a space where I can like forgive someone for what they
Yeah,
did
that's powerful.
years ago, because I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. But then he put me in a different space, in a different place, in which I had, not had to, but in which that forgiveness comes from, because I'm like I said, I'm not, I'm no one is without sin. And so I was looking at this person as, you are the one, you did this, and I'm never gonna forgive you. But he just put me in a different space, and I did not expect that today. So
Yeah, forgiveness is powerful. People don't understand the power of forgiving because
yeah.
I think when you don't, you allow that to, you know what I'm saying, just sit on you and
Oh,
it becomes a
fester and
weight.
fester. Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a weight, and you have to get that weight off of you. And part of getting that weight off of you is forgiving people. So I think that's
Yeah.
powerful, and that's and his messages. I've been telling people go to the website, check it out. Especially the guys, go to Real Men Connect.
Mhm.
Google it, check out his website. You'll learn something,
Oh,
and you'll
yeah.
get something from the website. So amazing,
Very
amazing interview.
amazing. So, yeah, I had my little thing up, but I was going to talk about uh the next show, coming up on the next show, but my little screen went down. I don't want to say like the wrong person's.
There you go.
Okay, so it's author it's authors Josh Boville and Rodikus Hunter. They're going to talk about a new book that they have coming out in March. So these two guys will be on the show next week. We'll
Yep.
have them on. We'll have them on the show. I have to say, thank you, Ken. For kind of leading the show today.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
a little different, but
yeah.
like I said, it's always easy to talk to Dr. Martin,
Oh yeah.
because even though we have never met him in person, I
Mhm.
haven't. I feel a connection with him, and
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that he takes the time to come on the show and give us the information and drop the jewels that he drops,
Mhm.
I appreciate him. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
there's a connection there, and he's helping me become a better man, whether he knows it or not. And I listen to the stuff that he says. So,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
great.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
great for
My
me.
my my husband listened to the first interview again, and so did my son.
Mm,
And his message is just, it's powerful, and you kind of have to like listen to it again because you may have missed something, so you go back and
yeah.
you listen to it again. And so that's why I knew from my first interview I had to have him back on the show because it was just so many questions we had to ask him, and just getting, even if it wasn't questions, it was just the information
And his
that we
life
get from
story
him.
alone is
Yeah,
so intriguing. So
it is.
I'm
Yeah.
like, where is the book? Where's the book?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, but anyway, so on next week's show I mentioned the two authors that are going to be um gracing us with
Yeah.
their presence.
And
And
remind
yeah,
them about the business spotlight.
yes, the business spotlight. See, it's hard for me. It's like I talk about like so much stuff, and so I'm trying to like pull this thing back up, but it will come back up anyway. If you would like to have your business featured on the business spotlight, go to facebook.com, pull up KUTC.live, go to our about section, and tell us about your business. Give us a moment to get back with you, but we will. We have a lot of businesses that are coming up in the
Yep.
business spotlight, and we can't wait to get to know more about them.
Yep.
So every week we end the show with a quote. And this week's quote is never measure your progress using someone else's ruler.
Mm. That's that's
Yeah,
that's
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 that's the
powerful.
that is powerful because people do that all the time. Looking at
Daily.
somebody, yes, daily. Yeah, looking at someone else's success when yeah, you should be looking within yourself. So
Yeah,
anyway,
like my dad used to always tell me, you can't measure your success by what that guy does because you don't know what that guy's doing when you're not around.
exactly.
So sometimes the stuff
Yeah.
that he's doing, you're not willing to do that.
Exactly. And real quick, it just reminds me of how when people see like an artist or a singer pop up on the scene, they're like, oh, he just popped up on the scene, but you have no idea what that person had to go through to get to that point. So
Exactly.
don't use someone else's ruler to measure your success. Uh,
Exactly.
Anyway, thanks again for joining us on Keeping Up the Conversation, season 2, episode 1. So excited, and
Thanks.
I hope you guys thus far are having a very happy new year. And till next time.
Make sure you all keep up the conversation. Peace.
Follow Keeping Up the Conversation on Facebook at KUTC Live.